this is Josh from Cody Cove Farm and Nursery. We're back doing another update video. So we've made a lot of changes and developments on the farm since then. Our big difference now is that our business is live online. We mostly ship cuttings, seeds, bulbs. We have a lot of packaged seeds now. We're trying to offer some of the very best varieties of fruits and vegetables and other types of crops that can be grown in Florida. And so these beds are new. Beds here that are for trials of new vegetable varieties and also seed crops. Basically, this beds were built here where there was kind of thickety forest like back here. I'm slowly clearing this away by hand and turning this into these nice raised beds. Soon we'll have lots of space for growing out all kinds of seed, and hopefully here this is kind of a beta testing ground for all kinds of things that'll end up in your garden. Currently on our website we only sell seed that we grow ourselves. So anything we sell is Florida grown and Florida tested, because we know we can say that with confidence because we grow it ourselves. This is Puerto Rican brown cowpea, which is a real vigorous climbing type. This is tropical Lima beans. These can live for 2 years, and they produce real big Lima beans. I had done a trial of Lima beans out at Hart, and pretty much all of them were failures other than this. This is it's two varieties mixed together. They're from Tanzania and Madagascar. They're tropical Lima beans. Very aggressive vines. I could build an overhead trellis and they could spread 8 feet over that trellis. They produce in the dry season, in the winter time and late fall and early spring. This is another cowpea that I'm not sure how it's going to be, but it's a variety from India. I planted it after those ones, so it's not that it's less vigorous than that. I don't know how this is going to be yet. Definitely seems to be a very aggressive climbing type. This cowpea is from Thailand, and this one you eat the pods like a yard-long bean. Maybe a little younger than this. Somewhere between this and this is when you eat these, and it's more of a sprawling type. It did escape this raised bed into the next bed. It climbs a little bit, but not aggressively. So this is a pretty interesting one. We have seed of this online now. That's the right stage here to eat these. They're not long like a long bean, but they're classified as a type of yard long bean. What did you call these? Thailand long. Since we last filmed, I've been planting this hillside sloping down to the lake in an orchard. Up here is avocado, and so it's avocado, then there's a row of jujubes, and then mango down there. So I'm not done planting avocado yet, but I'm planting trees to have fruit every month of the year by choosing different varieties for different seasons. In Florida, we can have avocados for 10 or 11 months, and I think sometimes you get all 12, but they bear at different times. The jujubes are the tropical jujubes from Taiwan. I have 4 or 5 of those trees. It's a great underutilized fruit crop. And then the mangoes down here, I think there's 35 trees, and almost all of them are different from one to the next. So it's a collection of 30-some types of mango. And I kind of tried to organize them in different themes. So the one row is all very early ones. There's a row of ones from Southeast Asia. There's a row of ones from India. And then there's a row of that are all the new hybrids like cotton candy and sugarloaf and orange sherbet and all these. And then there's a row of very late bearing ones that produce about now in August, September. So I'm trying to have the widest spread of season and also a wide spread of flavor profiles and quality, different types, so that customers can get mixed boxes of all different kinds of mangoes. There's so many different flavors in mango. Everybody's got a favorite. Everybody's favorite's not the same. And then people from different countries have flavors that they prefer over. So, a lot of Indian people want a mango that's like curry. So I have Kerry and similar tasting ones. And then people from Thailand want Nam Doc Mai. So I try to plant as much as I could a mango for people from different countries, and also all kinds of different flavors and interesting qualities to all the different ones. So in the orchard here, rather than just leaving it as an empty space in between the trees, we put all kinds of crops in between the trees. I'm having a hard time establishing these avocados. They don't like this poor soil and exposed. I water them well, and a lot of them got sunburnt, and I may have to replace some of these. About half of them seem to be really taking off. They're kind of a fickle tree to get going, unfortunately. But in between the trees, I have mulberries, which I'll basically take cuttings and air layers until they're competing with the avocados, and then they'll just come out. So those are going to be managed as a nursery crop rather than a fruit crop. Lemongrass, this is the Thai lemongrass with the thick stems that's used in Thai cooking. We sell these on our website. So when people do an order, those come right out of these rows. And then eventually these avocados will make it to where there's not much sunlight left, and these things go. In between the rows, we have our Cassavas. These are all, again, a nursery crop for us. We have these elite varieties we've talked about in other videos. And so we're trying to use this space to grow those cuttings for the website in the meantime. As we go down the hill, the soil gets a lot worse. This is the poorest soil on the farm. So it transitions more towards a lot of the in-between stuff is for trying to build up the soil fertility. I'd like to show people this cowpea. So here's like an agroforestry row of mango. Eventually I'd like all the rows to look more like this. So again, the soil is very poor here, and so we're trying to grow crops for food and cash crops, but also improve the soil at the same time. This cowpea is very unique, very special. I don't know of anything else like this that's available in US seed catalogs. It's a variety from Tanzania called Mavuno. It's a cover crop type cowpea that sprawls on the ground like a sweet potato, but it has no inclination to climb anything. So under our young trees, this is forming a big mat that's suppressing weeds and building soil, covering the ground from the sun, but it doesn't climb up and swamp the crops. So see this little mango tree, I haven't had to go in there and pull the vine off of the tree at all. You saw earlier that other variety from Puerto Rico. In a month, it's twining up 10 feet of string. That type of variety would just swallow all the other plants. You can see that trellis right there. That was for something else. The cowpea is refusing to just even go up that trellis at all. So you can see right there how different this is. And one vine, like over there, one seed is spreading, I think now probably maybe even more than 20 feet wide. Because I only planted these in this row, like one seed here, and the next seed is all the way at that next mango. So we're getting all this coverage from just a few plants. And I like this system a lot better than the chop and drop, because I don't really want to design labor into the farm where I have to be out here cutting and laying things, because I'm very busy. But I do value growing biomass in place for improving soil. The only difference between this soil and that forest over there is years of biomass building up and improving the soil. So when this starts to crash in a few months, we'll collect all this and pile it around the mango. It does produce these really nice, maybe we could see here, it produces these very nice cowpeas. We shell these out to eat. Well, I'm not shelling many because these are all going into our seed catalog. But they're nice big cowpeas. And these are just so good, like cooked up and boiled in broth. Delicious. I don't think the pods would be any good to eat as a snap bean. I haven't tried, but they look kind of fibrous to me. And then the dry beans, you could eat too, but I'm going to use them for planting and for our seed catalog. The only problem with this one, years ago when I grew it at Hart, the beans were badly stung by cowpea curculio. So if you have that pest, this one does not seem to be resistant to that. If you just want it as a cover, that's not gonna matter. But if you're wanting to get a lot of dry beans, then that pest is gonna be an issue. So here you can see there's actually differences between different types of Roselle. That one doesn't start blooming for another at least a month, if not 2 months. This one is already in bloom. So we're gonna sell this one as early Roselle. There's actually already pods to start picking. It's what, the second week of September right now. That one, probably around Thanksgiving, is the earliest you're getting it. So we're able to grow these without them crossing, I'm hoping, because this one I may just, it'll be done, and I may cut them out before those start to bloom so they don't cross. And then they have other traits that are different. This variety is real bad about flopping over onto the ground, and that one's very upright. So this is our loofah gourd trial. We have 15 types of loofahs in here. We're evaluating them for production and also culinary quality. So every time I pick, I record them in my phone, and then we're tasting them, and then I make tasting notes. As a vet, we've only eaten so far the smooth ones, which there's quite a bit of diversity in these, of the smooth ones. This is angled loofah right here. So it's a different species of loofah. Haven't eaten those yet, so this year at least, so I can't comment on those yet. But the smooth ones, I'll say I like them. They're not my favorite vegetable in the whole world. They don't have any off-putting flavors, but they're very soft and delicate. So if you don't like a zucchini because it's overcooked or mushy, this is even more so soft and squishy than a zucchini. In Chinese cuisine, these are very important. So it's, you know, it's a matter of personal preference. A lot of these are starting to look kind of raggedy. I think they're deficient. This is really bad soil. They could probably use a boost of some fish emulsion or something, but they're still producing, and I'm evaluating them, I guess, in these poor conditions. A lot of these, they're crazy early. They started blooming when the vines were only this tall, and they were fruited. Some of them, it almost seemed like they fruited so early they were stunted by fruiting when they were tiny. And then some of them I haven't even picked yet, and it was a month ago I picked the first of some of the varieties. So hopefully we'll have a couple out of here that end up being our winners. I still don't have a solid favorite yet. I have had to spray these with BT twice because of caterpillar infestations. Other than that, the pests have been pretty mild. We do have some stink bug, different species of stink bugs attack them, but they don't seem to rot or fall off or anything. In general, they're pretty resistant to pests. And having to only spray BT twice for a July, August, September vegetable crop in Florida is really not too bad. So on all these, you have to peel them. This one is about the size you would eat a lot of these. This variety actually is fibrous when they get big. So this one has been productive. This is a variety from India. This one's been productive, but it's not probably gonna make the cut because when even at this size, they're fibrous. Some of them get even this big and they're not fibrous yet. But all of these, you take a peeler and you peel the skin off, and then you eat the inside just like a zucchini. You chop it up and you eat the immature seeds and the flesh and everything.
Did they cross-pollinate at all? Or
yeah, these would cross-pollinate, so I won't save seed out of anything here unless I were to hand-pollinate it and bag it. What I have backup seed of all of this, so once I identify my favorites, I'll grow the seed out for the seed catalog in isolation. The angled ones should not be able to cross-pollinate with the smooth ones because they're a different species. If they did cross, that would probably actually be a cool, interesting thing to see, but I don't think they do very easily. The smooth type loofahs are much less sensitive to day length than the angled types, it seems. These ones seem to only want to bloom now when the days are shortening. Some of the smooth ones were even trying to bloom in the pots when the days were really long. I cooked one that was probably like this big, and it was totally soft. But then other ones, this one I think was fibrous when it was starting to get bigger. This one's also from India, And I'm pretty sure both or 2 or 3 of the ones I got from India were all more fibrous. They need to be cooked when they're small. The traits I'm looking for in a variety, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm kind of trying to take a composite picture of all the different traits that they have, and then like, well, which ones do I like the best? So early fruiting is a good trait. Mild flavor, not fibrous. They all seem pretty resilient and pest resistant, so that doesn't seem to be a big difference from one to the next. It's also hard to say with this small of a sample size. One could get attacked by insects by chance and not because of a genetic. I would need rows this long of each variety to really know much about them. It's kind of like which ones cook up nice, do we like to eat, that produce a lot, that produce early, is probably going to be the one. If all those traits line up, that'll probably be one that makes it to the seed catalog. These are farmed at a huge scale in China and other countries, and they're really a well-adapted thing to Florida, so they're definitely worth looking at. And most of the types that seem to be just in US seed catalogs are sponge types, or they're just, you know, inedible loofah. There's no thought, not much thought given into the differences in genetics between the different types. This is our most productive banana variety. It's not a common type. We're working really hard to be able to sell these on the website, but I haven't been promoting them yet because I don't have them yet. But it's called SH3640. Maybe in a bit, you know, after some months, we'll be able to offer this. This is a cool sugar cane. It's called Don Cinco. It's a chewing type cane that's really soft and tender, and I thought it had a very unique flavor. It was like so tasty to just eat, and apparently very well adapted and just tough and vigorous in Florida. Working on scaling this up. This will be something we hopefully offer, because a lot of people aren't going to make sugarcane juice because they don't have the press, but to be able to just peel it and eat it is probably what most gardeners are after. I only tried to eat this once, but I was like, to me it seemed very different than other sugarcane I'd tasted, but I'm also not a sugarcane connoisseur. This is the variety of banana I mentioned back there, SH3640. It's just super productive. I've been getting, my smallest yield yet was 50 pounds, and my bigger was over 70 pounds. So it's a really nice variety. It tastes kind of along the lines of a grocery store banana. They're actually bigger than a grocery store banana. So one last update is we have decided, as an additional source of income for our farm, to launch a Patreon account. So far it's been going really well. So the way Patreon works is that subscribers pay a monthly fee, and then you get access to certain content. We've had a lot of people that just wanted to support our efforts. We want to be able to do this as a full-time thing, to experiment with all these types of crops and then make them available to people. So in a way, it's a public service to be doing all these trials for Florida-specific agriculture. But also, we're filming very high-quality lectures, classes, and content that goes onto that account, which you can only see if you sign up for it. So every month I do a full hour and a half long lecture, which has slides. I take a lot of time to make these thorough presentations. Then my wife Emily is doing a cuisine-based video or blog or some type of cuisine-based thing. Like this month, she did a really thorough deep dive on cooking with green papaya. She showed maybe 3 or 4 different dishes that she prepares with really good close-ups of all the ingredients and how to do it exactly, and big picture information of how to use these different things that are in our gardens. And then also every month I'm going to do a full-on video Q&A where people can send in any kind of question about Florida gardening, and anything I know, I'll try my best to answer to the best of my ability, and things I don't know, I'll do my best to use my library or various resources to try and find good answers or give people leads on how to find those answers. So far there's been pretty good interest. People seem to like the content. So if you're interested in that, you can go to our website and find the information about Patreon. Another benefit for subscribers is that you get early access anytime a new product goes up on our website. A lot of our stuff is rare and unique, and I'm having a hard time keeping up with demand. So for the patrons, they get 2 days to go ahead and order new things that otherwise may sell out. Some of our items have very long wait lists, so there's a lot of people waiting to get some of these varieties, which is great, but patrons can for sure have early access to those things. So that's another nice thing. I'm also very responsive on there, getting back to people about questions. And yeah, so we hope if that interests you, I really feel like with information is like anything, you get what you pay for. It's not that free content on YouTube is bad, it's very good. I've learned a lot from it. But I'm really, if people are giving me money every month, I'm very motivated to take time and make really good content. So it's kind of like, if I were to deliver a talk at an event or teach a class, I'm trying to prepare the lectures to be that quality of content where I'm really putting a lot of effort into it. And that is going to help us keep going. It's going to take some strain off of me. I do this farm pretty much by myself right now. So I'm juggling, trying to run a seed company, a nursery, manage several hundred types of crops. Now we have small scale commercial plantings of fruit. It's a lot of work, and it's very nice to not have to be worried about paying our mortgage and stuff like that, and to be liberated to spend all of my time doing this. Because I do think this type of work is a service to the community. We're just two people that do this, but it is kind of like an extension agency or a school or things like that, where we can provide valuable information that helps everybody. So check it out if that interests you, and thanks for tuning in today and checking out what we've been up to.